What is up, you all? We're back with another Final Destination Bloodlines video. Before we get into it, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So to get into this video, I want to talk about a few things that we know about and William Bludworth. So I heard rumors that originally they were going to tell the backstory on William Bludworth. Now, we know that he's a mortician and he basically deals with dead people, and he is a big part of the franchise when it comes to Final Destination. So we know it's a theory that's been spoken about for a long time, being that, you know, he's the Grim Reaper. And I want to say, I think that, you know, he could actually be death, like literally the form of death. And I think that he's actually not real. I want to say that I think that in Bloodlines, they could potentially focus on, since sadly Tony Todd passed away, they can focus on him actually not being real. That'd be a great way of send off for him, saying that the whole time that, you know, we seen William Bludworth, he wasn't actually a real person. He was just death itself. Now, when we sit back and look at all the Final Destination movies, I actually rewatched them recently just to get prepared for Bloodlines. He never interacts with nobody but the ones that are having the friend groups or the ones with the premonitions. He never interacts with anyone. Like, he's always on scene if somebody dies, or he's in the morgue. Like, even with the first one where we see Alex goes, they break into the morgue, him and Claire, he comes out like this dark ass corner, and then we just see him talking about death and everything, death's original design, all the way through the other films. Now, we even see at a point with Final Destination 2 that he foreshadows Claire's death. Like, he basically says like she has a fire in her, and then he shows like,
such fire, you know. People are always most alive.
The crematorium process, and it's like fire rising up over the body, kind of showing like that's how you're going to go out. How would he know that? You know, unless he actually has a premonition, like a different type of premonition where he can see a lot of things and how it's going to play out. Because he even told them at a point, these groups with the premonitions, that the reason that you guys are going through this is because you're cheating death. So you're making death have to choose somebody else, and you're robbing them of their days. That's why it's like being, you know, this whole crazy situation where the death is getting took away from you. So in Bloodlines, we hear something along the lines of him saying, like, long as you embrace death, it will pass you by. So I think with this, it's going back to, that's why this one's going to be different, because it's going back to the original premonition with Iris as the grandmother, right? But what if it's something with William Bludworth that's actually connected to Iris? Like, maybe because William Bludworth, as we look in this trailer, he's old now, and he kind of looks like he's in that age range with Iris. So what if it's something where he actually has something to do with one of the first premonitions, or he knows something about the first premonition? So that's why in the 5 films where we see him, he is very aware of things. He knows about, you know, death and things like that. Of course, I mean, he deals with dead people because he works at a morgue. But yeah, maybe it's something like that where he has some type of connection to Iris, and he knows what's going on. He knew that that was going to happen. Maybe he witnessed her, you know, cheat death with that premonition up there in that tower that was collapsing. So he knew the formula. He knew how death works. So he knew eventually that the kids or the next generation was going to come to him because of this grandmother. Now, pushing forward, I think we're going to learn a lot more about William Bludworth and Bloodlines. I think we're going to see some backstory with him. I think we're going to find out more about the funeral home, the Bludworth funeral home. I think that is going to be something where it can be a crazy twist. Now, this is just me speculating, but I will not be surprised. We have heard the creators of Final Destination, they kind of debunked the Grim Reaper theory, but that was years ago. It could still be something where he's the Grim Reaper, because, I mean, especially because he has all this knowledge on death, and he knows the rules, and he knows basically how to, you know, get through everything. It makes sense for him to be somehow, some way connected to death. And I think that, to be honest, especially when we rewatching all the Final Destinations, no one ever interacts with William Bludworth but the main groups. Nobody. Like, you know, at was the fifth one where he pulls up to the truck or whatever, but that's easy. The morgue truck is just there. Like, I think that actually they're going to reveal is some type of crazy, eerie twist with William Bloodworth, and he's not just there helping him, but I think it's something where maybe he has a different type of premonition where he knows how everything is going to play out, and he can't, and that's why he was able to warn Clear, like, well, foreshadow her death, where he says, you had such fire in you, and she dies from fire in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a connection. Like I said, once again, it could simply just be him, you know, being a coroner and he's familiar with death, but it definitely gives Grim Reaper vibes. It definitely feels like he knows more than what he's saying, and he knows about this supernatural situation that's going on with these particular groups. He's very aware. Now, one thing I will say, I think they're going to definitely, once again, give us some type of twist with William Bloodworth. I think it's going to be something where maybe he had a premonition and it's a certain rule that was offered to him specifically, where long as he keeps this loop going where people are dying and then, you know, new life is big, he's keeping it going and it's kind of fulfilling, almost like a sacrifice. I think that it's going to be something that helps him, and long as that keeps happening, he doesn't have to worry about his original premonition that he had and his death or something like that. Or maybe he actually cheated death and he got so obsessed with him cheating death and just going about everything regular. He knows about it. He knows about the rules. He knows how to get past it. He knows what to say to people, how to embrace death. And that's why in Bloodlines, we're going to find out more about that. It's a reason behind all the 5 films where William Bloodworth, that's why he's coming to pick up the friends' bodies and he's telling them this stuff. And even in 5, he even tells them to take somebody out to save themselves. I think that, especially with that being like the last final destination, that makes sense. If you take a life, you'll save your life. So maybe the whole time, that's the rule. That's one of the rules. And that's why he's pushing them to their death, like on some like Grim Reaper shit, because long as that keeps happening and he's involved in those situations with those groups, he's good. But if it stops, he's done for it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some type of sacrificial shit that's going on with William Bloodworth that's going to be shown in Bloodlines. We already got Iris's premonition, and I won't be surprised if somehow, some way he's involved in Iris's premonition, because that's technically in the 60s or whatever. I think they can explain a lot of stuff from the prequel aspect for the other films, but that's just me. And I think especially with Stephanie diving into her bloodline and her family and really showing that she's going to break it down, especially with this guideline book that her grandmother gave us, I guarantee you it's going to be some type of twist and turn with William Bloodworth. Possibly, that's just me speculating. And we already knew originally they were going to focus more of this on him until he passed away. I want to say that's just rumors, but I always thought this. I mean, this has been something that's spoken about for years, about him not being, you know, who he said he is, and he's basically the Grim Reaper. I think, you know, he's deaf. He's literally deaf. He's the one that come picks you up when you get, you know, transition to the other side. We never see him interact with nobody else. I think he's not a real person. I think possibly, this is just me speculating, having fun, he might be a ghost. I know it sounds crazy, but William Bloodworth might be a ghost. I'm not gonna lie. That when I went back and watched these, I seen no interaction but with the main group of people. So that's just my opinion. Comment down below what you all think about everything with Final Destination Bloodlines. Are you excited? I know I'm excited. I cannot wait for this movie. It seems it's gonna be so good. So yes, you all. Unfortunately, with that being said, I want y'all to hit me up on all my social medias at ILIKESCARY, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.